I think Aniccha Arts is special purely because of the people and the relationships that we form while working on a project. And the fact that the Aniccha Arts is so focused on interdisciplinary collaboration, it really is a truly equal space in which all voices are honored and matter and are needed in order to push the project further.
One of the things I've loved most about my experience with Words to Dead Lips is the people, the artists who are in this project, and learning from each other, laughing, working, you know, playing.
The most exciting part for me has been being able to play. And I think as a dancer, it's a real privilege to have that in terms of the process, and even during shows, just understanding the narrative so much to a degree that you're comfortable enough to convey the message in so many different ways.
The multiple dimensions, the video, the audio, bringing all of that together has likewise challenged me to dig deeper to find what can I bring to the table.
It was unbelievable to work with such amazing people, dancers and visual artists and sound artists. Part of that has been using sound to think about crowd control. And as an interactive dance company, that makes sense to use audiences and crowd control and, you know, that kind of thing. And so this idea of building an ecology of fear sort of evolved over time throughout the year.
There are such a thing as sonic weapons that are being used in crowd control, and so we thought of it sort of as a representation of that sonic weapon. It started out with this idea of the shield, and originally the shield was a prop for the dancers to use. Then we came up with the idea to make it into a sound producing device, and so I built a little synthesizer that works on the principle of touch and also of light. These are the insides. There's an amplifier and there's a synthesizer which has two oscillators. They're driven by two 9-volt batteries. Over here there are touch contacts, so body contacts in other words. And on the front of the device is a light-dependent resistor right here. So those are the three components. You can make sound by connecting these two contacts with your skin. So skin resistance that's measured and that turns into the sound. So here's a demonstration.
And there's an organic approach to it. We're open to high and low technologies. We're very engaged in thinking about subtleties of the integration of technology and performance.
It's been very interesting. To collaborate with dancers, and one of the things that I kind of get from it is a sense of providing accompaniment. So I'm really responding to the dancers in a lot of ways, and I think that's what makes this enjoyable for me. They're also responding to the sound in their movement, so there's a back and forth communication going on.
I am definitely feeding off of what is generated in that space. And so when the sound is different, I'm different. When the sound is louder and more intense, I find my body responding more intensely within the movement.
Typically, the dance performance is about the dancer and what the body has to offer, but we're interested in the integration of and the interdisciplinary approach of various forms together.
I tend to approach lighting design, whether I'm working in a play or in an environment like this, as a musical instrument. Lighting is a very musical form, actually. It's very fluid in the rhythmic structure that it creates for a piece. A lot of the sound and the lighting is improvised with the dancers. We're basically playing off each other. It's kind of an energy transfer. So it's just constant kind of intuitive work with your hands.
It's about really making the point come across in a totally fluid and seemingly natural way. I think of everything I was doing for this production as reflecting the greater mechanics of society, and literally in the imagery there's references to architecture and electrical wiring and circuit boards. It's about constant constructive communication between all the collaborators. I'm used to working alone mostly, and it's just there's so much new here for me.
I can see how each person has influenced the shape of the project and the direction of the company, and that is truly exciting to be a part of.
When it works well with the collaborators, you can tell that there's there's a strong connection that's based on sort of a creative fervor that we all have, and that part is just, you know, priceless.
I love working with them. They have a very strong aesthetic, which is, I think, being more and more developed with every piece that they do. I've done a couple of their other pieces. I love the fact that they're trying to understand the world, you know, our world.
You always, as an artist, you want to create a shift in somebody's experience of your work. It doesn't have to necessarily be completely conceptual or that they have to get every aspect of it, but somehow something in them changes as a result of experiencing the work.
I think it's phenomenal. I think that what the Words to Dead Lips show does, and what other Aniccha Arts productions have done for me, is that it provokes this very visceral sense of emotion. So folks are always looking for meaning, but sometimes if we just turn to our bodies and try to see what we are embodying at the moment as a result of that show, then that will tell us something. And I think that if we can provoke that in our audiences, then we have succeeded.